I get it. You want to save money in your car insurance. You see these advertisements where they're promoting huge savings. You can save $700 or more, 20% off here, but it's all really just too confusing. How do you know that you're not just getting ripped off or even taken advantage of? Sure, you could ignore it and just save yourself the trouble, but your pride and your wallet are at stake. You know you were taught better than that. Well, enter Think Insurance. This channel's here to help you save time, money, understand your insurance needs so you don't get ripped off. And in today's video, I'm going to show you how to switch car insurance companies while saving money in 5 simple steps. So before we begin, I want you to think of this like investing in Bitcoin or the stock market. Know what price point you want to go in at. And when you find that deal or that stake, take those profits. Go in where you feel comfortable. Don't shop and shop and shop. What I've seen people do over time is they get too overwhelmed with all of the options and then they just do nothing. Now there is one catch. I do ask that you help me out as well. So if you do find this helpful and you find a great company because of this video, come back and leave me a comment below and let me know where you started, how it went, and let me know what your thoughts were in this whole process. Now, for those of you that don't have companies and aren't sure where to start, I'm going to put a link below because there is a company that I work with that shops you up to 17, even up to 30 different companies. There's also an app that you can do that will do all the shopping for you. Those are just some options that you can start with. So the number one part is to research the company that you want to go with. Price makes a huge difference, but don't ignore the factors like bad customer reviews. If you get a company that's not going to take care of you, you're just buying a piece of paper, and what good is that? So just make sure that the company that you go with doesn't have a whole lot of negative reviews. But also don't ignore the perks. So there are some companies that give you really good discounts. You can save as much as like 20 or 30% if you have had no accidents in the last 5 years. You can also save several $100s if you're going to pay in full with certain companies. So know what perks each company has to offer when you speak with the agent or do your online research. The other piece to this is make sure that you're doing an apples to apples quote. Now, it's not always going to be that route because some companies don't offer all of the same coverages that you may have, or vice versa, they give you more. But what I would recommend is get out your current declarations page, make sure that you're comparing as close to it as possible, and then know where you're flexible. Maybe the road service doesn't matter because you're gonna go a different route with that. Number 2, determine when's the best time to switch. Typically the best time to switch your insurance is because of a couple of reasons. Either number 1, you have a life-changing event, you're separating from a girlfriend or spouse or whatever the case is, and you need to separate your own insurance. The second way is if you're shopping for a new car. That's typically a time or an event to where you could get some additional savings by either adding a vehicle or getting a different vehicle that your current insurance doesn't particularly love for your profile. Another reason is if you're coming up for renewal. If you feel like you're paying too much, this might be the perfect time for you to check other options. So the third piece is to talk with your current agent or insurance company. Give them the opportunity to see what perks they may have, possibly that they've added some additional pieces that you could qualify for. If you're eligible for those and you get the discount that you want, that might save you time as well. Either way, if you're going to go that route, give them the opportunity to talk about it now versus when you've already found a company. Agents are one of the best negotiators that I've ever seen in my life. And when you've found a different company, I'm not saying that they're negative, but they have 100 ways to talk you out of it. You don't want to go to that process where you're going to cancel and then now you're completely shook where you don't understand whether you should make the right move or not. Choose that ahead of time so that if you do decide to go with a different company, you're prepared. Number 4 is know what next steps are going to be. So sometimes delaying a policy, the new policy for 7 to 10 days can save you an additional discount. So knowing that that's the right move to make might be the right process for you. Also, know any fees when you're leaving a company. Although it's not common in today's age that they're going to charge you a fee, and typically the most common state that I've seen them do it in is California. So there could be up to a $50 cancellation fee if you're going to leave one company for the next. Number 5 is to avoid lapse in coverage. If you have a lapse in your insurance, you could lose the whole deal that you have depending on the state that you're in. So make sure you know when the effective date is going to start on the new policy and time that with the old policy. Essentially, all insurances start at 12:01 a.m. And so if you're going to have one start on the 5th, and the other one end on the 5th, that should be perfect. One will end at midnight, the other one will start at 12:01, and you're still good. And since you stayed till the end, I'm actually going to give you a bonus tip. When starting the new policy, when you're canceling the old one, make sure that they've done what they call an MVR and CLUE. You don't have to know what that is, they will. It's essentially checking your tickets and your accidents. Almost every company checks them ahead of time. There are a few that don't, so be a little bit careful there. Make sure you have all of your documents prepared, ready to go, so if they need any proof of anything, you're ready to do that. And then don't do the actual cancellation until you've signed everything and you've got proof of insurance from the new company. And then you've done it. You've saved several $100s. Now you have the coverage that you're proud of. The only thing that's left to do is to leave me a comment. Let me know how it went, but also let me know what you're going to do with the savings. Personally, I'm going to either get some coffee or get some T-bombs from my favorite nutrition store. I'm Mark with Think Insurance. I'll see you in the next one.